Well, I
Yep,
guess there's
we
thought.
got a few minutes.
Well, thank you guys for your patience. One question I had, I talked to one of the people in there who said you could draw a line from the zero tolerance policy to what happened in the city. And that's not a universal opinion, but that's some people I've talked to.
Yeah,
What's your response to that?
Yeah, there will be. Our city has, for the last 15 years, been pushing back and driving down violent crime. Every mayor in his or her time does their very best to get the balance right, to save as many lives as possible as quickly as possible. That's what we did in our time, and that's what I believe every mayor has tried to do since. There's still a lot more lives to save. You have to every day do a better job of policing, a better job of policing your police, a better job of intervening earlier in the lives of young people at risk, and also a better job on expanding drug treatment. That's what I did to the very best of my abilities every day in office. And yet every day in office, given the intertwined history of policing and race in America, there's not a single day when you did not have to be mindful of the constant need for improvement and rebuilding of trust, because really no people can sustain the sort of crime reductions we have as a city unless there's trust between police and neighbors. And that's something that you have to work to reinforce every day. And events, whether it's the police-involved shootings or whether it's a custodial death, really challenge that trust and can break that trust. And that's when people need to come together, search for better understanding, better ways to make their departments more open and transparent. And that's what I think you'll see coming out of this tragedy as well.
Can you talk about what you see as a path forward for the city at this point, and what your role in that might be?
Sure, I think all of us have a role to play. I mean, one of the things that I hear people asking is, how they can help. Let's come over here a little more. We'll get out of the way of the doorway. Sorry. Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking for ways to help. I mean, I think leaders of foundations, business leaders are looking to help. The anger that's erupted in America's cities has a lot to do with the underlying hopelessness over whole swaths of our country and inside cities. It's about the unemployment rates. It's about a lack of summer job opportunities. It's about wages that have been declining for 12 years rather than rising. It's about a minimum wage that, for some reason, as a people, we can't seem to keep ahead of the poverty level. It's about 1 in 5 children in America being hungry and living in poverty. It's about all of these things, and you see them played out and in the most stark contrast in America's cities. So I think there's a lot of ways that we can help with this, and there's a lot of things that can be done. The Maryland Food Bank and the No Boundaries group that had the good sense to act and to bring food into a community where the small little grocery stores were wiped out and the lawlessness the other night. I mean, that's helping. So there are all sorts of things we can do to help.
And what about you in particular?
I wanted to be here today to highlight the fact that and I was present yesterday just because I wanted to be with the people that I love and the people that I served for all of my professional life, really. And we're all heartbroken. We all feel a lot of sadness, and we have a lot of healing to do and a lot of work to do for deeper and better understanding that allows us to move forward. But I believe we will move forward, and we will get through this. I mean, I'm not alone among the citizens of this city that want to be helpful and want to do things. And so I'm doing what I can do. I'm staying in touch with community leaders and just finding ways that I can be helpful wherever I can be helpful. And I've reached out to the mayor and to the governor and had conversations with both of them as well to make the same offer.
Well, the governor said today that he was surprised to see you in the city yesterday.
I don't know why he would be surprised. I live in the city. I'm a resident of the city. I've spent my entire life trying to help the city and make her a safer and more just place.
Do you have any reaction to Hillary Clinton's speech today about police issues?
No, I didn't see it. I spoke a couple weeks ago to Reverend Sharpton's group in New York, and maybe Liz, you can share with our intrepid reporters what I had to say up there. I didn't see what she said.
Do you think anything that's happening here is it being calculated in your own decision to run for president? Does it reflect at all on the record you'd bring into a presidential campaign? What's happened here the last couple of days?
What is it?
Well, I mean, I haven't really. Let me answer it this way. I mean, I was motivated to go into public life because of the great chasm that exists between justice and injustice in our country, and nowhere is that divide greater than in America's cities. You know, some people from afar may look at Baltimore and see nothing but hopelessness. I've seen in Baltimore tremendously good and compassionate people, and a tremendous opportunity to make progress and to save a lot of lives. And that's what we've done. I mean, if you look at the lives that have been saved in Baltimore compared to where violent crime was in the decades before, I think it's very hard to conclude anything other than that. Hundreds and hundreds of lives have been saved that otherwise would have died violent deaths. In our city, there's no such thing as a spare American. You know, we believe in one another. That's what the Believe campaign that we launched here years ago was all about, was to recognize the negative, recognize our fears of one another, but believe enough in one another that we have the ability to overcome our challenges and our problems. Look, an economy is not money, it's people. And it is the product of the choices we make. And when we decide not to do things that allow people to work their way out of poverty, then you have pockets of extreme poverty that you create. And with extreme poverty comes extreme hopelessness. And extreme poverty and extreme hopelessness can breed extreme violence. They're all connected.
Part of that question, I think, was whether or not this impacts your decision on whether to move forward, and if so, how your candidacy would be affected.
Look, every experience of my life impacts that decision. And if you're asking for political punditry or handicapping, that's not where my head's at. You know, that's not where my head's at. But I have to go back to where I began that question. What's motivated me to go into public life and to public service, to run for election, and to fight the toughest battles, is the realization that each of us is needed, each of us can make a difference, and that leadership matters. And that progress is only possible with deeper understanding and with better leadership. So there you go, John.
All right, one more question.
Were you surprised by the reaction some people had to you yesterday when they were saying it's your fault? And I mean, what is your...
No, not really. I mean, if you were here at all in 1999 in that long, hot summer, or through my 7 years as mayor, I mean, I was most heartened by the number of people that were glad to see me, and I felt like I was glad that I had gotten back to the city as quickly as I could. That's what I was heartened at. In terms of somebody shouting or yelling, that goes with the territory of being a city mayor or politics in the city. I don't think that there was a single day of my service when somebody from the back didn't shout something of some nature, whether it was we weren't cleaning up trash quick enough, or bringing back jobs quickly enough, or reducing crime quick enough. But in all my years of mayor, I never had one community leader ever ask for less of a police presence in their neighborhood.
Thank you, sir.
Great,
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.